saw those two sliders off the plate. That was by design. And like I said, a few years ago, Guerrero might have swung at that. Grichuk might have swung at that. Teoscar definitely would have done that, but they become more patient at the plate. They really force the pitcher into the strike zone in those situations. And Urquidy said, okay, that's not going to work, so he challenged him and got him to pop up.
One down here is Rowdy Tellez. Rowdy back in the big leagues for today, or arrived today, and see how long he's here. Hopefully for a good long time as he takes a pitch low, ball one, and now one and in at the knees, a ball and a strike. The Blue Jays feeling the time was right. They had a need, obviously. Springer on the IL, Panic on the IL, so they get Rowdy back to the big leagues. 3 righties in this series. 1-1, and he hits it off the end of the bat to left field, and Michael Brantley is there to make the play. 2 down.
I think that's the key, that he's here because they're going to be facing some right-handed pitching in this ballpark, and they wanted to split up the right-handed batters. You had Guerrero, Hernandez, Grichuk, Gurriel all together. Charlie Montoya wanted to break that up just a little bit and put a left-handed batter in there, and it's Tellez, and he'll come through. He just needs some at-bats. I think he's going to do it.
Randall Grichuk lines one softly into center field on the first pitch that he sees, and he's got a 2-out base hit here in the 4th.
He's been paying attention, hasn't he? Urquidy's like, here's my fastball. What can you do with it, even in a 1-run ball game? And watch how level that swing is now from Randall Grichuk. Keeps his head down, a level swing, and hits himself a base hit.
So now, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Lourdes grounded out his first time up. 3-2 Astros in the top of the 4th. And time requested by Gurriel. Lourdes' dad, Yuli's dad, a legendary player in Cuba, and then a manager of their national team for a number of years as well, including at the World Baseball Classic. Gurriel is one of the royal families of baseball in Cuba, right? Between dad and the 2 boys now in the big leagues.
A couple of years ago, we were here for Father's Day in Houston, and their dad was there, and it was really cool. He had a jersey. Half of it were the Astros, and half of it was the Blue Jays. And, who do you cheer for? He says, I don't cheer for anyone. I just want my sons to do well. It was pretty cute.
1-0 on Gurriel with a runner at first, 2 down. And the pitch from Urquidy, just low with a fastball, 2-0.
Yeah, whatever it is, these guys can hit. Yuli's been around a little bit longer, and he's still producing at his age. And Lourdes, I think, is just learning how to hit as those adjustments are being made.
Yuli, whenever he was interviewed about Lourdes, going back a few years when Lourdes was just breaking in, consistently said in every interview, he's better than me. He's the one to keep an eye on. They're different kinds of players, and again, Yuli is 10 years older. Yuli's 36, Lourdes is 26. So, but I agree with you. Lourdes is still learning, still developing, even though he's been in the big leagues a couple of years now.
And now, your
2-1.
2020
And a ground ball to short. Correa to a knee. On to Altuve to force Grichuk, and the Blue Jays are retired in the top of the 4th.
Leading off tonight for Toronto, the shortstop, Bo Bichette.
Nope, that's a ball.
First pitch, 7 o'clock.
Ball, that's down. Ah! Ball, down. No, ball 4.
Batting second, the left fielder, Lourdes Gurriel.
Aye. Ah.
Baseball forever. Was a terrific player. Spent parts of 19 seasons in the big leagues. Had some great years. Two-time All-Star. Won a couple of Silver Sluggers. And now he's got over 1,900 wins as a manager. 12th all-time. Has never won a World Series, but has taken so many different teams to the postseason. And just as interesting a guy to talk to as anybody you'll ever meet in baseball. And I have an odd question for you, Tabby. So, yes, Dusty's playing career in and of itself, not enough to put him in the Hall of Fame. His managing career, some would say maybe, some would say no. But it's the Baseball Hall of Fame, and it's not just the Players Hall of Fame, and it's not just the Managers Hall of Fame. And my question to you is, when you total up Dusty's accomplishments as a player and a manager, should there be kind of a special category for combining those two and saying, hey, the guy's been in baseball for 40 years in the major leagues, basically, and did a lot as a player, has done a lot as a manager. Do you think there's any chance Dusty Baker gets into the Hall of Fame one way or another at some point?
The Hall of Fame, for me, is contributions to baseball. You know, you have umpires in there, you have front office people, obviously you have the players, managers, contributions to baseball. And Dusty's contributions to the game of baseball are Hall of Fame worthy. We showed that he has 1,908 wins as a manager, and he missed some time when he was out of the game for a while. 92 more, and that'll give him 2,000. There's only been 11 managers with 2,000 wins in their career, and 10 of them are in the Hall of Fame. So when you combine what he did as a player and what he has done as a manager and all the other contributions he's done to the game, I think there's no doubt in my mind he should be a Hall of Famer.
I'd love to see it.
He's a lifer.
Yeah, he is. And I don't know if it can happen, how it can happen, when it can happen, but I'd love to see it too.
Batting third, the third baseman.
Meanwhile, Tim Meza is throwing. Ty Tice was earlier, but Meza's throwing now, maybe for Michael Brantley if he were to come up this inning. Been a little bit bumpy for Ross Stripling tonight as Miles Straw fouls off another one, still 3-2.
I think Charlie is looking at that 2 out of 3 batters that are left-handed. Brantley, Brickman, and Alvarez. That's what he's looking at right now. He's going to give some room to try and get through this inning. He'll let him face the bottom of the lineup, but if they flip it over and there's guys on base, I think he won't hesitate to go to Tim Meza.
1 ball, 1 strike.
3-2 to Straw, and he walked him. The third walk given up by Stripling.
You know, I was looking at some numbers for the Blue Jays before this game and what their starting pitchers have done over the last 14 days. They have faced, coming into this game, 225 batters, and their starters had only walked 9. So that's kept them in the game enough where they haven't walked. Ross, in his 3 innings of work, has walked 3 now, and that just keeps that lineup moving and get you closer to the Brantleys and the Bregmans and the Alvarezes.
I got the count 0-2.
Number 9 hitter Martin Maldonado just missed a home run. His first time up, hit one high off the scoreboard in left field, settled for a double. First pitch to him, fouled back, 0-1. Stripling making his 4th start of the season, and again, he wasn't originally intended to be in the rotation way back when, but then as things developed in the spring, Nate Pearson went down with a groin injury. Stripling was the first guy that they put into the rotation, so he was like number 6. And Stripling, at various points in his career, he's either been a starter, been a swingman. He can He could fill a lot of different roles, but
1-0.
originally he was not intended to be one of the 5 starting pitchers. As Maldonado's popped it up, and Guerrero into foul territory, and now reaches back and makes the catch.
You got 2 balls,
Steps
1
on
strike.
the bag, almost lands on Miles Straw, and fortunately everybody's smiling and okay.
He's out. Out on the tag.
Dealing with a lot over there, Vladdy, on that pop-up, dealing with the bag, dealing with the runner, finally hauls it in. And Miles over Miles Straw.
Yeah, Miles Straw was at a competitive disadvantage in that situation right there. Top of the order, Jose Altuve.
1 ball, 1
As you
strike.
said, Tabby, this could be last batter one way or another for Stripling, with Meza throwing and Brantley next. They got to keep an eye on Straw. Remember, we talked about how fast he is. Hasn't run as much or as efficiently in the big leagues, but he is definitely a threat to steal a base.
He's their best base stealer. He's 5 for 7 in stolen bases this season. It's a good time to run now with Altuve at the plate. You can do a couple of different things. If you want to just let him go, let him try and steal, you can play hit and run. You can just let Altuve do his thing.
Big cut by Altuve, and he fouls it off 0-1. He is lined out and walked tonight.
He can hit any pitch. He hit a home run yesterday on his 31st birthday. It was about neck high, and he was able to knock it out of the ballpark. An impressive swing. You think you got him throwing the ball up there? He's a good high ball hitter.
Just 5'6", but a 3-time batting champion, former MVP. 0-1, and he's out in front of a changeup, and he pops it into shallow right field. Oscar Hernandez has it for out number 2, and now we'll pay attention to Charlie and see what he's thinking. I think he's asking maybe Jansen to call time, or I think they're trying to figure out what they want to do here. Do they go to Meza or not?
The first baseman.
And it looks like Charlie's on his way out, so it looks like the decision has been made.
Counts 1-0.
A little conversation with Andy Fletcher, the home plate umpire, on his way out. Don't know exactly what that's about.
1-1.
It looks like now talking to Dan Iasonia, the crew chief as well. Whatever it is, everybody's in good humor about it, and there's the call to the bullpen. So Stripling gets through 3 2/3, and Tim Meza is on his way in to try to deal with Michael Brantley.
The center fielder, Byron Buxton.
0-1's the count. I'm out. Oh, 2 is the count.
Batting 8, the catcher, Mitch Garver.
Nope, outside. One ball, 2 strikes. Out.
Leading off for the Blue Jays, the center fielder, Randall Griffith.
The exciting moments to come with 2022 season tickets. This is your chance to get the best seats at the best price with a flexible payment plan. Visit BlueJays.com/2022 season tickets. New pitcher for the Blue Jays here in the 4th is left-hander Tim Meza.
Last time we saw Tim on the mound, that was the first game of that 4-game series against the Athletics on Monday night. He threw an inning and a third, had a couple of walks, but he did have a strikeout. He's been throwing the ball really well. Hasn't given up an earned run so far this season. He's got a 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, slider, little two-seamer, and his four-seam fastball. And he's been pounding that strike zone. So great comeback story for Mesa. And I think what Charlie has looked at, he's looked at Brantley, Bregman, Alvarez. He has to face at least 3 batters unless he gets out of the inning. So this is where his job is the first time through the lineup here for Mesa.
So good battle. A lefty with good stuff against one of the better left-handed hitters in the game. 3-2 Houston, bottom of the 4th. Runner at first, 2 down. And a throw over to send Straw back to the bag.
Ball, that's off the plate.
Trust us. That's Ross Stripling. got the hoodie on and probably, contemplating what might have gone better, what he might have done better. I'm sure he wanted more, just like he pitched well his last time out. As Mesa gets a call on the outside corner, and that's about as demonstrative as you'll see Michael Brantley be. And he doesn't show a lot of emotion, but just kind of that dropping his head, taking that step. That's him saying, I don't agree with that call, Mr. Umpire.
Leading up for the
twin. He's got a great idea of that strike zone, too. And what Tim Mesa is going to try and do to him. Looks like they're going to
0-1's the count.
Work him away, so you'll probably see him try and hit the ball away.
He's already done that twice. Once a fly ball to left and once a base hit to left. He can hit the ball to the opposite field extremely well. Doesn't hit it for as much power to the opposite field.
We got time.
Down and away, 2-1. Play him slightly to pull on the infield and a little bit around to the opposite field in the outfield.
Now batting, right fielder, Matt Kepler.
Oh, 1.
Straw being held on by Guerrero, not going. And a ground ball back to the mound. Nice play by Mesa. Underhands it on to Guerrero. And that'll take care of Brantley and the Astros. Time now for a Blue Jays Central update. Here are Jamie and Joe.
Now batting, the second baseman, Louis.
Ball.
Ryan.
Ball 1, no strikes. That's ball 2. 2-0. Two balls, 1 strike. Out.
Leading off for the Blue Jays, the left fielder, Lourdes Gurriel.
Ball, that's out. One ball, 2 strikes to count. I'm out. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Has a lot of high-end prospects. Everybody likes checking in on them and seeing how they're doing. And in just the first few days of the minor leagues, the Blue Jays' top 3 pitching prospects have already pitched. Nate Pearson for Buffalo, 3 2/3, 1 earned run, struck out 8 through 78 pitches. Alek Manoah, 6 innings, 2 hits, hit 3 batters, but only 2 hits, no runs, struck out 12 in his AAA debut. And and Simeon Woods-Richardson, who's at AA New Hampshire. 4 innings, 1 earned run, and 8 strikeouts. So really good to great outings to open up the season for all 3 of those very talented young pitchers, Tabby, that Blue Jay fans love talking about.
Yeah, the numbers are fantastic. I'm not sure how everything else went in their development, and that's the most important thing, is developing these guys that they can be consistent major league pitchers. And what you want to try to accomplish with them as you push them through the system, they conquer each level that they go to, so that when they are ready to come to the big leagues, and your baseball organization and your coaches and your scouts and everybody says he's ready for the big leagues, they come to the big leagues and they don't go back. That's the whole idea right there, to develop guys and have them do everything they can in the minor leagues to get ready to pitch in the big leagues. So when they're ready to make that jump, they don't go back. The worst thing you want is a guy who goes back and forth. You want him to dominate, learn 3 pitches, be able to control the running game, field their position, act like a big leaguer, be a big leaguer, and then pitch in the big leagues. So there's a lot to go into their development.
Kevin Biggio leading off the 5th, a 2-2 count with the Blue Jays down 3-2. It'll be Biggio, Jansen, and Simeon here in the 5th inning against Jose Urquidy. Up and away, a full count. And then you've got to balance that, too, as an organization with what your immediate needs are on the major league level. And that's something that I'm sure Ross Atkins and the front office are dealing with, are thinking about on a regular basis. And, the Nate Pearson timeline, 3-2 is outside as Biggio will take a walk. I mean, Pearson's already been in the big leagues, of course, and has had some success. Had some, a couple of bumpy outings last year as well. But you got to believe they'd like to get Pearson up before too long if the results continue to be good at AAA. And Manoah is a fascinating case because last night was his 7th outing as a professional pitcher. Now, he was a college guy. He's older. He's 23. Pearson, a college guy as well, but in contrast to Woods Richardson, who was drafted out of high school. Manoah's 23, but he was in Vancouver 2 years ago when Vancouver was short season A, low A. Then, of course, at the alt-side last year. Now he's all the way up at AAA as Jansen takes outside. And that speaks, Tabby, to how much he has impressed people at the alt-side last year and in spring training this year, that they sent him to AAA. And obviously, he was able to handle it last night. 6 scoreless innings and struck out.
Yeah. And striking out 12 in the minor leagues doesn't mean you're ready. I don't mean to throw cold water on it, but it's true. Striking out 12 guys when you're in the minor leagues does not mean you're ready to pitch in the big leagues. It means you're on your way. And there's other things, and we're not sitting there watching him, his development. They have paid professionals who understand how to develop those kind of guys for the big leagues.
Leading up for the Twins,
what he does on the field and what the scouting reports say will determine if he's ready to pitch in the big leagues.
Exactly right.
But you know what, Dan, one of the worst things you can do to a young pitcher, or that fact, a young everyday player, is they light up, the radar gun or whatever in the minor leagues, and they're not ready to bring him to the big leagues, and you bring him to the big leagues and you crush them, they might not even be able to recover from that. So you got to make sure that they're ready to pitch, that when they get here, they are going to stay here.
No left fielder.
2-0 on the count on Danny Jansen, who homered his last time up, hitting into the first row of seats in the Crawford boxes and left.
0-1.
Biggio's at first, nobody out. The Blue Jays down a run in the 5th inning.
I got a ball, 1 strike.
And nice to see Jansen's bat coming to life the last couple of days.
2.
The 2-1 with the runner going, swung on and missed. They throw down and they get Biggio as he is thrown out trying to steal a base for the first time in his major league career after starting 20 for 20.
Leading off with Toronto.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a straight steal or if they're going to try and play hit and run. Cavan's going to maybe give that away by how he did that. He didn't get a great jump, but he looked in to see what was happening, and just a straight slide into the bag. That might have been a hit and run play. with Danny Jansen, and unfortunately they couldn't pull it off.
And now Jansen lines one sharply, but right at Bregman, the third baseman. So just like that, 2 down and nobody on.
I asked Charlie Montoyo
today,
you know, your lineup the last couple of days have really started to hit, and he said the whole key has been the bottom of the lineup is starting to hit. Gurriel, Biggio, and Jansen. And when they hit, that just makes our lineup longer. As Semien swings through that first pitch, 0-1, and then you turn the lineup over. Before, it just seemed like forever to get back to the top of the lineup because there are so many outs at the bottom of the lineup.
So Biggio thrown out, Jansen lines out, and now a ball and a strike on Semien. Marcus has struck out and had a double, a hustle double. He hit to left. One of those where you make the play between home and first, really. You got to decide before you get to first if you're thinking about 2. High fly ball to left field. Brantley with room. And the Blue Jays are done to the bottom of the 5th in Houston with the Jays down a run.
Now batting, the left fielder, Gurriel. Leading up for the Twins, the first baseman,
0-1.
Sano.
The count, 0-2. Nope. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Now batting, center fielder, Byron Buxton.
I got the count, 0-2. Time is called.
The catcher, number 8.
For the playoffs as they take on
Garver.
the Ottawa Senators. Sens trying to play spoiler.
0-1's the count.
Ottawa and Winnipeg tomorrow night on Sportsnet 360 and City TV. Dan Shulman and Pat Tabler and Hazel May. Bottom of the 5th inning, the Astros 3 and the Blue Jays 2. Tim Mesa back on the mound for the Blue Jays. He retired Michael Brantley.
I got the count,
to
1
end
and
the
2.
4th inning. And now we'll face Alex Bregman, Yordan Alvarez, and Yuli Gurriel here in the 5th. Long way to go, just a 1-run game. As the Blue Jays try to get to 3 games over 500 for the first time on the season as they continue on this long 10-game road trip.
Leading off for Toronto, the second baseman, Captain Biggio.
Alex Bregman takes down and away, ball 1. Bregman's had a base hit, and he also walked with the bases loaded.
This has turned into a typical Blue Jay game, hasn't it? Starter, goes under 5 innings, 5 innings or less. You turn it over to the bullpen. The bullpen has been magnificent this year.
Now back.
And it gives the offense a chance to try and make a comeback win. Charlie's done a good job of using his bullpen in situations to keep the score close.
1-1 on Bregman. And a fastball fouled off to the right, 1-2.
I'm guessing Mesa will face Bregman. If he gets him, then he'll face Alvarez as Tyler Chatwood has gotten up now and starting to throw. He might be there for those righties coming up. But you're looking for those matchups to get outs.
Recommended with a ground ball to Bichette at short. Bo makes the play over to first. One down. Pete Walker with a message for Matt Bushman down in the bullpen. Chatwood's just kind of throwing lightly, so I don't think he'd be ready to come in after Alvarez. And this might be, hey, if he gets in trouble, if something starts brewing. But